Hello everyone, today I bring to you my next Face Awards entry. So if you guys want to see how I have achieved this look, then keep on watching. Starting off with priming my face with Colorbar Perfect Match Primer, and this helps to stay my makeup for long. For my base, I am using LA Girl HD High Definition Concealer in shade Creamy Beige. And then I realized that I have forgot to correct the dark spot. For that, I am using MAC Select Moisture Cover Concealer in the shade NC45. It has an orange tinge in it which helps to hide all the dark spots. Now moving back to my base, I am using a lighter shade than my skin tone, using all over my face, on my ears and also on my neck, and blending it well to achieve that even and flawless skin. Finally setting everything with pressed powder from MAC in the shade NC40. Since I am the queen of art, so I'll be using most of the arty colors on my face. First mixing the red and brown shades from Miss Claire and going into the hairlines to the temples and blending it properly. Also going under the cheekbones and blending. And trying to take it down towards the chin. If there is excess application, then you can always mute it down by blending it well with a clean brush. Next, above the reddish brown shade, I want to have this beautiful olive green shade from the Quartet Lakme 925. Since this shade was not at all smooth, so it was hard to take off the color with sponge and blend it properly. Trying to mix these two shades with that. I'm also taking the green shade into the temples and blending it well. Now on my cheeks, I want a little glow, so mixing this orange shade from Miss Claire and this yellowish golden shade from Lakme 95 Quartet. Once again going into the hairlines of my forehead with this burgundy shade from the Balm Nude palette to make it more intense and blending well so that there are no harsh lines. Now taking the mix of orange and golden shade onto the forehead and mixing with the above shades properly and bringing it down towards the eyebrows. Now taking the same brown and red shade from Miss Claire along the jawline. For my eyes, I am taking the brown shade just above my crease as a transition shade and depositing in smaller amount and trying to build the color slowly and blending it well. Next, taking the red shade and applying it into the crease. Now I want my eye color to be more bold and dark, so I'm using this burgundy shade from the Balm Nude palette and going into the crease and blending it in. Since I have used green color on my cheeks, so on my eyelids I'm using a dark green color from Chambor and blending it in. Applying the same eye pencil on the eyelid until I am satisfied with the intensity. And blending it well. Now to intensify the look, I am using the burgundy shade into the crease and mixing it well with the green shade and trying to create a fake wing with it. Taking the same eye pencil towards the lower lash line and also on the waterline and smudging it out. and trying to create a click at the corners. Now adding the brown shade underneath the green color onto the lower lash line. Once again I am working with my forehead because I want a little intensity of all the colors used on the forehead. Taking a black shade from the palette, the bum, and applying on the outer corners. And smudging it well with a clean brush. To add more drama, I am using the green eye pencil and making a wing with that first, and then smudging it out and taking across the eyebrows, which will lift my eyes and will look more dramatic. Once again adding the black shade on the outer corners and blending it in with a clean brush. Taking the same red and brown colors from the eyebrows to the side of the nose like this. For highlighter, I am using Mary Luminizer from the bum and going along the bridge of my nose above my eyebrows. For my eyebrows, I am using the same black shade from the bum palette. Since I am using more of browns on my face, so I want my brows to be dark, which will give a bold look. I want some texture on my face, so thought of doing something like leafy texture on the cheeks. I am using acrylic paints for this step. Mixing two shades, that is green and black, and going all the way through my cheeks like this. The lids need not to be very perfect, but trying to make them as similar as possible. Simply going randomly and bringing it down towards the chin. Now trying to make it as similar as done on the other cheek, but still you need not to be very perfect. I am adding the same brown and red shades on the hollow of my chin and smudging it out lightly. Then in the inner corners I am using the golden glittery pigment from Miss Claire and taking it inwards a little. Again using the same shades of brown and red and going along the neck area like so. Moving along the shoulder, along the hollows of the collarbone and blending the color everywhere. Next, applying the green shade which I have used on my cheeks just above the places where I have used the brownish red shades and blending it well. Next, taking the orange shade and simply taking the color where I still like. And then taking this beautiful golden shade and applying near the collarbones, on the shoulders, mainly on the highlighted areas. Simply I am highlighting with this shade. Again on the neck I want the leafy structure, so doing the same design that I have done on my cheeks and going randomly. And here I want something like wind blowing from the left side corner and the leaves are shedding accordingly. Then taking a toothbrush and dipped it in a white paint and splattering it on my cheeks and also on the temples. I really love the texture how it gives. I'm also doing the same on my neck as well. Oops, need to sort of that. Now I'm going to draw the lips once more to cover up the mess. Before adding lip color, I'm applying the highlighter on the pout and chin. For lips, I'm using a dark burgundy shade from Pieces. To add more drama, I am applying this golden shade in the middle of my lips and smudging it well. I really loved how it turned out. Later I realized that I forgot to apply mascara and falsies, so I need a nice volume to my lashes, and I am using L'Oreal Paris Voluminous lashes and finally finishing it off with falsies. Now I have made this crown with a hairband, fake lace, glitters and rhinestones, and this is the finished look. Hope you enjoyed the look. Till then, stay good and stay fresh. Bye.